I think yesterday most of you have got relieved that theory is over and only practical questions are left now. Yes, and practical questions are as important as the theory ones because sometimes your practical questions, that is problems which are there on transportation assignment and simulation, sometimes they are asked for 8 to 10 marks in the examination. So it is a very important part of your paper. So today we are going to do simulation today and tomorrow. It will be simulation. And after that, we will see as and how the topics proceed. We'll be completing it. And I think we should be able to complete by next Saturday. So in a week's time, we should be able to wind up. So I'm also a little bit relieved because you should have sufficient time for your studies. So we are having 2 clear months, May to June, June to July, to clear. Sit down at home without any lectures and revise your portion. And during this period also, during this period of 2 months, in case you feel that a revision lecture is required, we can conduct a last minute revision either in the latter part of June or first part of July. So if there is a requirement, please put it in the group so that other students also who are interested, they can join. Okay. So as of now, theory is getting over and we are starting with problems. By next Saturday, we should be able to complete with the problems part also and your SMOM should be completed. Let's keep the fingers crossed. Let's hope that yesterday I had a very bad Wi-Fi problem because of the rains and some of the students are also, final year students are not able to connect with me yesterday evening. So let us hope that there are no other interventions now and we are able to complete the portion as per schedule. Okay. So today we are going to start with simulation. Now, simulation is a very simple topic and it is something which is again, as I said, like a game for us students because over here, up till now, whatever you are saying, practical questions are going to be asked. It is all a matter of like small puzzles are there and you are solving the puzzles. So it is something like that only. And we may have slightly higher level questions also, but it should not be a matter of difficulty because we have done costing, we have done accounts, something related to that only will be asked. How does the word simulation come into existence? Let us try to understand that first. In practical life, what is the meaning of simulation? Let us take the example of a pilot who flies a commercial plane or who flies a military aircraft. A pilot has to be trained to fly the aircraft. Now, how do we give training to such pilots? If it is learning how to drive a car, it is simple. You call a motor driving school and the motor driving school comes with their car. You have to sit in the car and there are 2 sets of controls, one with you and one with the trainer. And he asks you to drive the car. He teaches you how to drive the car. Now, what happens over there is that in case you are not able to apply the brakes, he has got a set of brakes with him. So he will press the brakes, car will stop. Nobody is hurt. So that means there are 2 sets of controls. Now, in the case where you are talking about an aircraft, you can't have 2 sets of controls in an aircraft and you are flying at a very high altitude, at a very high height. So anything happening in the height, you cannot rectify, it will crash. Whereas a motor driving school, when you're learning how to drive a car, there is no question of you crashing down because you're already on the road. You're already on the road. So there is no question of you falling down anywhere. Yes, going front and going back, that is an issue. And for that, the controls are there with the trainer, with a coach who comes to teach you how to drive the car. So, flying a plane or an aircraft and teaching how to fly an aircraft is quite a dangerous thing. If you are taking the pilot directly in the air, the pilot and the coach both may crash land and both may die. And the training sessions may never happen. Okay? So it is necessary that before you go for such flying of commercial flights or military aircraft, you have a situation similar to that, and you learn how to maneuver and you learn how to control your aircraft if it was in the air. So what they do is, the flying clubs which are there, they create a similar environment. Look at the words that I'm using. They create a similar environment where a cockpit is prepared. The place where the pilot of the aircraft sits is called as a cockpit. So they prepare a studio where there is a cockpit prepared, where you feel that when you're sitting over there, you feel that you are sitting in the cockpit of the aircraft. And in front of you, there is a screen which is looking similar to what you would have seen if you are sitting in a plane ready for takeoff. So the runway is there in front of you on the screen. And as you go on the runway and you take off, you will be able to see in front of you the sky. So all those visions are created for you, similar to what you would experience when you are flying an aircraft. Everywhere I have used the word similar. So simulation comes from the word similar, a similar environment to that which you are going to actually face. Okay, so it is like a game. You must have watched video games, car games, car racing games. Modern day generation students, I don't have to tell you video games and all these things. You are much more advanced than us. You have played with the video games and you know how to maneuver, how to operate. We also take sometimes training from you. So it is like a game, like a video game, where you are having the controls with you in your hand. But here the controls are there on the panel, just like you are sitting in an aircraft. Okay? And you are taught how to take off, how to run on the airstrip, what speed you have to maintain, what controls are there. As you are going to take off, what lever you have to pull, which will help you to get the height. Okay? What angle you have to take. So all the things are measured actually. When you are flying a plane, everything is measured. Your speed, the height, the takeoff speed, the point of touch where you are going to lose contact with the airstrip. So everything is measured. And once you're in the sky, everything is measured in terms of numbers. You don't have, like the Google map is showing you that you are here. No, you don't have something like that. It is like you are having the numbers, and the numbers are the altitudes, the height, the longitudes, the latitudes, the heights, and all those things are put in the form of figures. So you have to learn how to interpret those figures also. Because in the sky, everything is clouds. You don't have a route. You don't have a path. That is why many times you hear that two planes missed colliding with each other, missed having an accident with each other. Because in the clouds you can't see. In front you can't see what is there. You are just going on the basis of numbers which are provided to you on the panel in front of you. Alright. So that means you have to learn how to interpret those numbers also. So all that is taught when you are learning to fly. And where that is done in a set of a training school, you can say, where a similar set is prepared. A set is prepared. It's like a studio. A set is prepared where you are having the environment of a cockpit. Where you are sitting in the cockpit, you will have all the panels and all the controls exactly in the same way as you are having in the flight, in the actual flight. Okay, so like that we'll be having, and on that basis you are taught. So what do we say that? We say that it is a simulator. You are having video games also called a simulator for motor car racing. Even those who are running the Formula One cars, the Formula One races, racing takes place. So the Formula One race that takes place, the drivers who are, you know, in that particular race, they have to be trained. They don't just take a car and start driving at 200, 300 miles per hour. They have to be given training. So they are having a simulation studio. And first they take training over there to ensure that they don't crash. So taking sharp turns, anticipating what is the move ahead, the road ahead, whether it is a bumpy road, whether it is a muddy road, whether there is a curve turning towards right or whether there is a curve turning towards left. So judgment must be there, and that judgment must come in a split of a second. When you're doing a car racing game, you will find that you have to do it in a split of a second. So in such cases, what will happen is that you will create an environment which is similar to what is already supposed to be there, existing. Okay, so that is what is called as simulation. That is what is called as simulation. Okay, so in that case now, simulation, how it is going to help us to solve problems. We say that it is a quantitative procedure. As I told you, when you're learning how to fly, the route is given to you in the form of figures. Altitude, longitude, latitude, other things, all temperature, this, that, everything is given by way of figures. So it is a quantitative procedure of a model being developed, which is similar to, the actual environment that you are going to face, the actual scenario that you are going to face. Okay, so that is the meaning of simulation. In simulation, there are several methods of solving a given situation, but we follow the most famous method called as the Monte Carlo simulation method. Monte Carlo is the name of a place. Okay, so Monte Carlo simulation method. Basically, it is normally used where gambling is rampant, racing is rampant, and certain scenarios where you cannot really estimate and you cannot really come to know what is going to be the consequence or the outcome of the experiment that you are conducting. Now, for example, you want to drive a bike very fast. Until and unless you actually drive the bike, on SR Nagar students may be knowing this, that SR Nagar students, after your lectures are over, you find that some students are racing through the road, in spite of heavy traffic being there, in spite of people moving around here and there. Now, all the colleges, when your college is leaving, even other colleges are leaving. So all the students are on the road, all people are on the road, but still they zoom past you. That is by experience. That is by experience. Experience plus accuracy plus judgment. So all these are important. A small error anywhere will lead to a massive accident. Okay. So Monte Carlo simulation is one of the techniques, is one of the methods which is used, which is very popular, which is the most popular, and the method which is used for solving simulation problems. Where uncertainty is there. Okay. Now, when such problems are required to be solved, what do? We make the use of random numbers. Oh, random numbers means what? That is again a new concept that you are learning. But you have already maybe done it when you were kids, because everybody does. And I was, talking about this method to people in outside India also. They said we also have done it. So it is common with kids. When as kids, I used to love cricket, but I was restricted because of my studies. My parents used to say, first you have to concentrate on studies, games will come afterwards. But I used to, quietly, without the knowledge, sometimes go and play a cricket match and come in. Later on, they used to come to know, and then I used to get spanking after that. So then after that, they banned my playing cricket, and they said that only studies. After studies, you can do whatever you want. So now, that craze for cricket is still there. So what we used to do as kids, we take a big fat book. You must have done it in your childhood also. We take a big fat book. We write the names of all our friends, players, cricket players, team. So our team members, we write the names of all the team members. And what is the score made by each of them? Okay. So for the score, what we do, we take a big fat book, we open it on random basis. And the last number that comes, that is the score. So if the page is 42, then the score is 2 runs. If the page comes as 86, then that means we have hit a 6. The last digit will indicate. If it is 8, that means there was a no ball and 2 runs were taken off that no ball and a free hit, which means that it was going to be 6 runs on the free hit. So like that, we used to develop our own assumptions and make our own game. Something like that we used to do. So what we used to do, open the book on a random basis. Just open the page. Close the book, then suddenly open the page. Whatever digit comes, whatever page number is there, the last digit of that will be the score, the run score. Suppose it is 90, last digit is 0, that means bold, out. Okay, so like that. So that was a game that we used to play when we were kids. Now, I don't know about girls, but boys we used to play. Girls, I don't know whether you like cricket or not. But boys we used to play this game, and all over, wherever I've taught this subject, students have said, yes, sir, we have played it in our childhood. So, this was on a random basis. This is on random basis. Okay, so in Monte Carlo simulation method, we do the same thing. We make use of random numbers, and these random numbers will be given to you in the question. And you have to do trial and error to ensure that you get your answer. Fine. So let us see what I have given to you in the PDF. Suppose you can see the screen share. Simulation is the representation of a system by a model, which will react to change in a similar way to that which is being simulated. It's a quantitative procedure. It's a quantitative procedure which describes a process by developing a model of that process and then conducting a series of organized trial and error experiments to predict the behavior of a process over a period of time. For simulation, we require a model for that. So a model has to be formulated and tested for adequate number of times. So if it is trial and error, then you will be going on repeating the same experiment over and over again. Okay? Then Monte Carlo simulation. Monte Carlo simulation, there are several techniques of simulation that are in use. Monte Carlo method is very popular as it is very simple and easy to use. Technique uses random numbers and is used to solve problems which involves conditions of uncertainty. It is a method of simulation by sampling techniques. It employs random numbers and is used to solve problems that depend upon probabilities. Used to solve problems that depend upon probabilities. It is applicable where physical experimentation and the creation of a mathematical formula is impossible. So you can't have a formula for this, but there is a procedure for this. Okay. In such situations, analysts construct a model of a real-world problem and use a trial and error approach to arrive at reasonable solutions to the problem. In simulation, a computer would normally be used to build and run the model, because normally in simulation questions which are there, the number of trials are very high. Sometimes the number of trials are as high as 100, 500 like that. So humanly, it is not possible for us to, actually try out those procedures, because it's a procedure. Try out those procedures 100 times or 500 times. But if you have a computer, you can develop a software program and you can rerun the program as many times as you want. So normally we say that in simulation, computers are required. But don't worry, in your examination problems, we are not going to give you 500 trials or something like that. It will be just 10 trials, 15 trials, maximum 15, 12 to 15 trials, not more than that. Okay. So number of trials will be there. In simulation, a computer would normally be used to build and run the model, since meaningful information can be extracted from the simulation only after a number of runs with different random numbers. Okay. Now, steps in Monte Carlo simulation. What are the steps over here? Obviously, when you are reading the steps, you will not be able to understand anything. But as we are solving the problem, you will be able to understand what are the steps. Even then, first is identification of the problem. What problem are we having? Sometimes it may be a problem of finding out the average production that is required over a period of 1 month. So 30 days. So 30 days means it is going to be like 30 trials. Okay. Or I want to find out what is the profit or loss for a particular period of time, say 4 weeks. So I give you data on a weekly basis, 4 weeks. So 4 weeks is 1 month. So there will be 4 trials like that. Okay, identification of the problem. Then define the problem precisely or system intended to simulate. Now we are going to follow the Monte Carlo system. Third is formulate the model intended to use, not required for you because model is already defined. Introduce the variables associated with the problems. That is also given to you in the question, so you don't have to take tension of that. Achha, next one is important. Point number 5, from there your procedure starts in the examination. What you have to do is you have to develop probabilities. You have to calculate probabilities. And after you calculate probabilities, you will have to come out with a cumulative probability distribution. Okay, cumulative probability distribution. Then a set of random numbers will be given to you. Now, point number 6 is select. But you don't have to select. That random number set will be given to you. Consider each random number as a decimal value of the cumulative probability distribution. For example, what do they mean by this? Let us say your probability is 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. Okay. Now what you will be doing? You will be calculating cumulative probability. This is probability. So cumulative probability will be 0.4, 0.7, 0.9, 1. Your last cumulative probability always will be 1. So now how to get the range of random numbers? Next step is to get the range of random numbers. How to get this range of random numbers? Very simple. You look at this figure. This is 0.4. One number, 0.4 means 0.40. 0.4 means 0.40. One number before that is 0.39. So I say that the range is from 00 to 39. Not 0.39, 39. Next range will be starting with this number, that is 0.40. So starting with 40. Up to 0.7 is there. So one number less than that. 0.7 means 0.70. So one number less than that, 69. So 40 to 69. Okay. Next I start with 70. 70 to 89. Next I start with 90. 90 to 99. So the last number here should always be ending with 99. So what they are saying, consider each random number as a decimal value of the cumulative probability distribution. Construct a numerical model of the given problem. So this is what we are going to prepare. Set up possible course of action for testing. Test the model. Identify and collect the data that is required to test the values. Run the simulation process. That is, if you are doing this on a computer, analyze the results, change the solution if necessary, make changes if required in the model or parameters, rerun the solution to test the new solution. So if this is, if they ask you to write something about the process, then this is required. But otherwise, it is not required. Okay. What is required is basically, as I told you, given a probability distribution, calculate first cumulative probability and then find out the range of random numbers. Have you understood how to get the range of random numbers? Is it clear? Or yes or no? Everything is clear? Fine. Now, what we do is, we start with a simple question. Today we'll solve only simple questions. Tomorrow we'll take up slightly more difficult questions. Okay? So let us take the questions today. Question number 1. A baker sells bakery items. Past data per week in 100 kgs with frequency given below. Demand per week is given. Frequency is given. Using the following sequence of random numbers, generate the demand for the next 10 weeks. So what is important for you? For how many weeks you have to estimate? So you have to generate the demand for the next 10 weeks and also find out the average demand per week. Now tell me, how many random numbers can you see? How many random numbers can you see given to you? Count and tell me. How many random numbers are there? It's so difficult about. 8 random numbers are there. CMC, you have to wear spectacles now if you are not wearing spectacles. How many random numbers are there? Shavya, how many random numbers can you see? Sriyamsri can see only 8 numbers. So I think she is looking at it only with one eye. So you will look with both the eyes, Shavya, and tell me how many random numbers can you see? Yes, Maitri, how many random numbers can you see? Hey, what has happened? Have I asked a very difficult question? How many numbers can you see? Given as random numbers, how many numbers can you see? Okay, now Sriyamsri is looking with both the eyes, huh? And she has been able to get 15 numbers. So claps to her. First she was looking at it with only one eye. Now she has seen with both her eyes and she has got 15 numbers. Very good. So how many numbers? 15 numbers. 35, 52, 13, 19, 23. You have to go horizontally first. So 35, 52, 13, 19, 23, 73, 34, 57, 35, 83, 94, 56, 67, 66, 60. So you are having 15 numbers. Correctness you've seen. Srihamsini has now seen correctly. Has everybody seen with two eyes now? Are you getting 15 numbers? I think Srihamsini was falling sleepy, feeling sleepy. So she was only her one eye was open. The other eye had gone to sleep. Maitri's both eyes have gone to sleep. So she is not seeing anything. She is not answering anything. So we are having 15 random numbers. Okay. Now out of the 15 random numbers, I require to generate data for only 10 weeks. So I don't require all 15 random numbers. I don't require all 15 random numbers. So how many random numbers do I require? I require only 10 of them. So whatever I don't require, first, this is the thing that you have to check first. The numbers are, because they may not give you exact numbers required. They may give you sometimes more than that. So whichever numbers are not required, I will first cross them out. The first 10 I will select. So 35 I will select 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is not required. 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 15 numbers are given. I don't require 5 of them. I'll use only first 10 and I will use in the same order. You can't change the order. Same order. And order you have to take it left to right. Row wise you have to take first. Okay. So now with this, we are going to prepare a statement which will help us to calculate the random range numbers. I'm calculating first random range numbers. So range of random numbers. I will prepare statement showing or table showing random range table. So let us prepare. Prepare a table like this. Table showing random number range. Five columns: demand column, frequency column, probability column, cumulative probability column, and the range column. Okay. Write the demand as they have given and the respective frequency in the respective columns. 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. Frequency 2, 11, 8, 21, 5, and 3. Take the total of this. What is the total? 8 into 10, 21, 21, 21, 42, 47 comes to 50. Correct? Now, how to calculate probability? Normally they give you probability, but sometimes they will give you the frequency, so that you have to calculate probability. How to calculate probability now? Each frequency divided by total frequency. So 2 by 50. 2 by 50 up to 2 decimals. You have to write 0.04, 11 by 50, 0.22, okay, 8 by 50, 0.16, 21 by 50, 0.42, 5 by 50, 0.10, 3 by 50, 0.06. And as I always say, total of probability should always be equal to 1. So this total should always be equal to 1. Now, let us start calculating the cumulative probability. Cumulative probability, first one 0.04 plus 0.22 will give you 0.26 plus 16 0.42 plus 42 0.84 plus 10 0.94 and plus 6 1.00. Everybody understands the calculation? Okay. Now we come to calculation of range. As I told you, your range will be one number less than what is there in the cumulative probability. So the first range starts from 0, 0. This is 0.04. So it will be ending with 0.3. Next we'll start with 0.4 and end with one number less than 26 to 25. So 0.4 to 25. Then 26 to 41. One number less than 42. Then 42 to 83. Then 84 to 93. And 94 to 100. 100? No. One less than 100. 99. Always this last figure should be 99. The range last value should be ending with 99. Okay? Now, next I will prepare simulated table for next 10 weeks or simulated values for next 10 weeks. Simulated values. For next 10 weeks. So week number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now we'll write down the random numbers, the first 10 random numbers. Okay. First 10 random numbers which are given to us. Starting with 35. So 35, 52, 13. 35, 52, 13. Like that we'll go on writing. 90, 23, 73, 34, 57, 35, 83. Up till here it is clear. Very simple. Don't worry. Don't take tension. It's very simple. It's like a game only. Now, 35 is a random number. I want the demand corresponding to 35. I go to the previous table. Where is 35 coming? 35 is coming in this range. 26 to 41. Okay, 35 falls in this range. Like class interval, you have class interval statistics. Same way, 35 falls in the class interval 26 to 41. Corresponding demand is how much? 10. Corresponding demand is 10. So I write 10 over here. What is the next number? 52. 52 falls in which class interval? Which range? Not class interval. We call it as range over here. 52 lies in which range? It is lying here. What is the corresponding demand? 15. So I write 15 here. Next number is 13. 13 falls where? Over here. Corresponding demand 5. Like this you have to go on doing. Okay. 90. Tell me now. 90 demand is what? Demand against 90 is what? Demand against 90 is 20. Okay. Demand against 23 is what? Demand against 23 is 5. Demand against 73. 73. This 15. Correct? This 15. Demand against 34. 34 is 10. Demand against 57. 57 is 15. Demand against 35. 35 is 10. Demand against 83. 83 falls in this. 83 falls here. Huh? 83 falls here. So 15. So this is the demand for the next 10 weeks. Okay. So this is the demand generated for next 10 weeks. Take the total of this. Total is 120. Okay. Now they have asked me to generate the demand for the next 10 weeks. Also, they have asked me, what they have asked me, find out the average demand per week. Average demand, how to calculate? Total demand divided by the number of weeks. Okay. Total demand divided by number of weeks. So right here, average demand. Average demand per week is equal to 120 divided by 10 weeks. So that is 12 per week. Done. Was it difficult? It is not difficult. And this type of stupid questions come in the examination for 8 to 10 marks. Can you believe it? So what is so difficult in that? Let us come to question number 2 now. Question 2. A small retailer has studied the weekly receipts. A small retailer has studied the weekly receipts and payments over the past 200 weeks and has developed the following set of information. Now you can see that probability is given to you. Okay? But now what has happened? There are two things over here. Earlier problem they had given only one item, that is selling bakery items. So for that we have to find out. Now they have given us receipts also and payments also. Okay? And the respective probabilities. Using the following set of random numbers, simulate the weekly pattern of receipts and payments for the 12 weeks of the next quarter, assuming further that the beginning bank balance is 8,000. Very important. So this is important for us to understand. Opening bank balance is 8,000. Acha, now receipts and payment, these are what? Random numbers given to me. This is random numbers. Okay, these are all random numbers. But random numbers you have given for receipts separately and payments separately. They are not the same. They are not the same. They are different for receipts, different for payments. Acha, how many random numbers are given? I require for how many weeks? 12 weeks. So I require only 12 values. How many values they have given? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have given exactly 12. So nothing to worry. Nothing to cancel. What is the estimated balance at the end of the 12 weeks? Oh, so this is also asked. Balance at the end of the 12 weeks. What is the highest weekly balance during the quarter? These questions you have to answer now. Highest weekly balance during the quarter. What is the average weekly balance for the quarter? Okay. Now, if you go to see, they have already given us the probability. They have already given us the probability. So what are columns will require? I'll prepare one statement separately for random numbers to be generated for receipts and one statement separately for random numbers of payments. What are the columns will be there? Week numbers will be there. Okay. Week numbers. And I will be having probability, cumulative probability, and a range. 4 columns are required. Okay. 4 columns. So now, four columns, one for receipts, one for payments. Range of random numbers. For receipts. Okay. And then I write range of random numbers. For payments. Now let us start for receipts first. So that you copied on correctly. Huh? The problem over here is that students sometimes copy wrongly and make a mistake. So there nobody can help you. Because such a simple problem, if you are making mistake, even God can't help you. So see that you copied on the numbers correctly. 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, 12,000. 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, 12,000. Respective probability. 2, 3, 4, 1. 20, 30, 40, 10. Cumulative probability 0.2, 0.20, 0.50, 0.90 and 1. Range 00 to 1 less than 20, 19. Next one starts with 20, 1 less than 50, 49. Next one starting with 50, 1 less than 90, 89. And the last one 90 to 99. Now we'll go for a payment. 4,000, 6,000, 8,000, 10,000. Probability 30, 0.40, 0.20, 0.10. Cumulative 0.30 plus 0.40 is 0.70 plus 0.20 is 0.90 and 1. Range starting from 0, 0. Why 0, 0? Because all your random numbers are given up to 2 decimals. Actually, if the random numbers are not in 2 decimals, I mean 2 figures, 2-digit figures, if they are given as 112, random numbers are coming 112, 115, 120, 179. If 3 digits are there, then I will go with 3-digit numbers. Okay? I'll go with 3-digit numbers. So then it will be 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 to 199. Then 200 to 499, like that. Okay? Clear? Right. So this will be 0, 0 to 29, 30 to 69, 70 to 89, and 90 to 99. Now they want us to prepare a table showing the simulation for data for 12 weeks. Okay. So right here, simulation of data for 12 weeks. Prepare this table. Okay, who has not completed the previous table? Sorry. As you finish this table, let me know. Done now? Okay, fine. Prepare this table. Week column, random receipt number, expected receipt, random payment number, expected payment, and then weekend balance. Don't write starting the data. There is something more to be written. Just prepare the table and keep ready. they have given to us opening balance. Opening balance they have given to us at the beginning as 8,000. So the first line here, you write over here, opening bank balance, write it across, opening bank balance. And in the last column, you write 8,000. Last column, 8,000. Now you write the week numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, now the random receipt numbers. Random numbers are given to you now. Take only of the receipts now. So only of the receipts. So I will be starting with which numbers? I will be starting with these numbers. 03, 91, 38, 55, like this I will be writing. Okay. So write down the random numbers of the receipts. 03, 91, 38, 55, 17, 46, 32, 43, 69, 72, 24, and 22. Same way, I will be writing random payment numbers. 61, 96, 30, 32, 03, 88, 48, 28, 88, 18, 71, and 99. This is done. Now, you will take only the receipts now. You take only the receipts. Only the receipts. First random number is 03. I'll go to my previous table. Previous table, receipt range. 03. 03 comes in first one. That is 3,000 is the receipt. 3,000 is the receipt. I will put this in separating. Lot of confusion otherwise. It's 3,000. 91. 91 comes in this one. 12,000. So this is 12,000. 38. 38, 38, 38. 38 comes as 5,000. Corresponding figure. Look at only the receipts now. 55. 55. 55, 55 here, 7,000. 17. 17 in the first one, 3,000. 46. 46 is between 20 and 49, 5,000. 32. 32 is between this 5,000. 43. 43. Same, 5,000. Okay. Then 69. 69 is here. 69 is here. 7,000. 72. Same. 7,000. 24 is over here. Second one. 5,000. 22 also 5,000. Okay. Now let us take the expected payments. Random payment number 61. Look only at the payment section, payment table. 61. 61 comes over here. So corresponding is 6,000. 96 comes over here. Corresponding is 10,000. Then 30. 30 is over here, 6,000. 32 also will be 6,000. 3 will be first one, 4,000. 88. 88 is here, 8,000. 48. 48 is in this 6,000. 28. 28 in the first one, 4,000. 88 is 8,000. 18 is first one, 4,000. 71, 8,000. 99, last one, 10,000. Yes. Now to find out the weekly balances. Interesting. What you will do? Weekend balance, we start with 8,000. 8,000 plus 3,000, 11,000. 11 minus 6 is 5,000. 8,000 was the opening balance. Add to that the receipt of 3,000. So 8 plus 3, 11. 11,000 minus the payment 6,000. 5,000. Second week. 5,000 plus 12,000. 17,000. 17 minus 10. 7,000. 7,000 plus 5,000. 12,000. 12 minus 6. 6,000. 6 plus 7, 13. 13 minus 6. 7,000. 7 plus 3, 10. 10 minus 4 is 6,000. 6 plus 5, 11. 11 minus 8. 11 minus 8 is 3,000. 3 plus 5, 8. 8 minus 6, 2,000. 2 plus 5, 7. 7 minus 4, 3,000. 3 plus 7, 10. 10 minus 8. 10 minus 8, 2,000. 2 plus 7, 9. 9 minus 4, 5,000. 5 plus 5, 10. 10 minus 8, 2,000. 2 plus 5, 7. 7 minus 10. Sir, negative balance. Don't worry. Bank overdraft is it is a bank balance. Nothing to worry. It is not cash balance. Negative 3,000. Has everybody understood all the calculations? Anyone who has not understood the calculations? Clear now? Very good. Now you don't draw circles in the examination. Huh? This is only I am drawing the circles here to show you from where I am getting the figures. Examination, you are not supposed to put circles in your figures. Only examiner can put circle against your figures if they are wrong. So don't put circle. Don't use different color pens in the examination. You are not allowed to use different color pens. I am having the choice over here and I have to point out to you. That is why I am making use of different colors. Fine. Yes. Okay. Weekend balance is one more time the calculation. See, here you are having all the receipts. Sorry. Here you are having all the receipts. Here you are having all the payments. This is the opening balance 8,000. So 8,000 plus the receipt 3,000. 8 plus 3, 11. 11 minus the payment of 6,000. 5,000. Okay. Then 5,000. Again we start with this. 5,000 plus 12,000 because you are receiving. All the receipts you have to add. 5 plus 12, 17. 17 minus the payment 10. So that will be 7,000. Clear? Similarly, you have to go on calculation. 7 plus 5, 12. 12 minus 6 is 6,000. 6,000 plus 7,000, 13,000. 13 minus 6, 7,000. Okay? Clear now? Fine. Now let us answer those questions, the 3 questions that they have given. First question that they have given. First question that they have given. What is the estimated balance at the end of the 12 weeks? What is the balance? What is the final balance that you got? Minus 13,000. So right over there. Below your answer, you write. Estimated balance at the end of 12 weeks. At the end of 12 weeks equals to bracket 3,000. Second, what is the highest weekly balance during the quarter? What is the highest weekly balance? What is the maximum balance? Maximum balance. Forget the opening bank balance. Opening bank balance not to be considered. In the 12 weeks, the maximum balance is 7,000. Okay? So write down the answer. Highest weekly balance. Highest weekly balance during the quarter equals to rupees 7,000. Then they've asked what is the average balance, weekly balance for the quarter. Average weekly balance. So now do the calculation. Take the total of that last column. Fast. Total of this column. Tell me how much it is. 8 and 5, 13. Let us do orally. 8 and 5, 13 plus 7, 20 plus 6, 26 plus 7, 33, 39, 42, 44, 47, 49, 54, 54 and 2 is 56 minus 3. Okay, this is what you are going to do. 53,000, correct now? 53,000. But that is not the right answer. You know why? Because you have not read the question properly. They said, what is the average weekly balance for the quarter? So the opening balance should not be considered. Opening balance should not be considered. So 5 and 7, 12 and 6, 18 plus 7, 25 plus 6, 31, 34, 36, 39, 41, 46, 48 minus 3, 45,000. So it is 45,000. Opening balance should not be considered for the quarter, because that is opening balance. You want the closing balances. Okay, opening balance should not be considered. So what is the average balance then? 45 divided by 12. 45 divided by 12. Average weekly balance for the quarter equals to 45,000 divided by 12. 3,750. Done? Understood? Okay. Let us go to question number 3. So, are you finding it simple? Are you finding it scoring and easy? Easy now? Okay. Let us come to examination question. December 2018, 10 marks question. 10 marks question. Let us see. Departmental store is running a snacks store outlet. Past data snack items demand per week is 100 kgs with frequency given below. Exactly similar to question number 1 that we have done. Demand per week is given. Frequency is given. Using the following sequence of random numbers, generate the demand for next 10 weeks. Also find out average demand per week. Okay. Now, Sri, you are going to keep both your eyes open and tell me how many random numbers can you see? How many random numbers can you see? Yes. There are 15 random numbers. Okay. There are 15 random numbers. But we have to calculate the simulation for 10 weeks. So I will require only the first 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This I will not require. So the excess random numbers are given first, cancel it out please, because those are not to be considered in a calculation. By mistake also it should not come. Okay. So chalo, let us prepare now. Fast. Now since we know that it is similar to question 1, working should go on faster. Prepare the table. Demand column, frequency column, probability column, cumulative probability and the range. Now fast, do it. Range of random numbers. Table showing random number range. Demand is 0, 6, 12, 18. 0, 6, 12, 18, 24 and 30. Frequency is given 3, 10, 9, 20, 6 and 2. Total of this. What is the total? 13, 22, 42, 48, 50 now. Good. Now calculate. 3 by 50. 3 by 50 is 0 0.06. 0.06. 10 by 50 is 0.20. 9 by 50 is 0.18. 0.40. 0.12. 0.04. Check my calculations. Total of all the probability should be 1, na? 26, 36, 44, 84, 96, 400. That's right. 0.06, 0.26, 0.30, 44, 44 plus 40 is 84, 96. All my calculations are right now. Okay. So let us calculate the range now. Tell me the range. First one 00205. Then 06 to 20, 25, 25, 26 to 43, 44 to 83, 84 to 95, 95 to 99. Chalo, prepare the second table now. Simulated values for 10 weeks. Simulated value for 10 weeks. Random numbers 21, 34, 48, 97, 72, 31, 45, 56, 47, 37. So tell me the demand figures now. First one is First one is 6, second one 12, third one 18, fourth 30, then 18 again, then 12, then 18 again, 56, 18 again, 18 again, last one 12. Okay. Now take the total of this 18, 18, 36, 66, 76, 84, 96, 106, 114, 132, 152, 162, 162. Yeah, correct. Done. Any problem? Average demand per week 162 by 10, that is 16.20. So 10 marks scoring. So I told you OM SM you can score 90 plus in the examination. So study properly, don't play around here and there. Be sincere, study properly, you will get the marks. Scoring 80 pluses though, it is very simple, very easy. Okay, getting 90 plus is also easy, but because of theory, you don't know whether you'll be getting full marks for theory or not. But still, as I told you, past students have got a 90 plus in SMOL. Okay, now for tomorrow, I want you to do question number 5, which is again exactly similar to question number 1 and 3. Question number 5, examination question, December 2019, 8 marks question. This was for 10 marks, that is for 8 marks. So question 5, I want you to solve for tomorrow, and that is without fail. Simple question. Don't give excuses. Sit at home, solve. Solve it now only. When it is hot, when it is fresh, solve it now only and finish it off. Okay? So we'll meet tomorrow, same time. Thank you. So see you tomorrow. Have a nice day. Take care. Take care of your health.